everybody, welcome to Sports Grind, Season 3, Episode 13. My name's Tyler Warga.
And I'm Mickey Perella.
And today we have a lot to talk about, going with NFL Week 13, which was last weekend, and NBA action from last night. To kick it off, we had the Cowboys tackling the Saints 27-17. Taysom Hill had a total of 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Lots of interceptions in that game. And now, the Cowboys defense played really great that game. That was one of their best games they had all season. Now, we could have saw more from Dak Prescott, considering that he had 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Taysom Hill did better than him, but it was the defense that was really the key factor of that game. Now, Mickey, what's your thoughts on the Cowboys and Saints?
My thoughts are that the Saints really did not play a good game. They had a lot of sloppy balls, evidenced by the interceptions, and the Cowboys just played smarter football, and that's why they were able to get the win.
I know I'm a Saints fan. I really just think it was defense. I really think the Saints defense actually handled Dak Prescott on offense well, but it was the defense that was really tearing it up for the Cowboys. Colts dominated the Texans 31-zip. Lions finally got their first win, so Detroit fans, you guys must love it. Beating the Vikings 27-29. Jared Goff had a total of 296 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Riley Patterson had 3 out of 3 field goals with 11 points in kicking. Now, the main question is that Lion fans are asking is, can the Lions keep this up? Now, so
The answer to that is not really. I mean, they really tried hard every game this year, which is actually one team that's actually tried really hard, unlike some other teams like the Texans, who haven't really tried at all, or the Jaguars haven't really tried at all. The Lions have tried, they just don't have enough talent. But good on Jared Goff, good on Coach Dan Campbell, and good on Amon-Ra St. Brown, who got the touchdown catch. Good win by the Lions.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I don't think they're going to be able to keep it up. But like I said, not every team can go losing all games. You know, they have to have that one game to win in the season. So, Dolphins shut down the Giants 20-9. Giants are now 4-8. Dolphins are now 6-7. Matt Collins was the guy to look at for the Dolphins, as he had a 5.0 average, 5 yards, and 1 touchdown. What's your thoughts on that game?
My thoughts on that game is that the Dolphins are coming back to life. They looked dead in the middle part of the season, but they've gone on a nice 5-game winning streak and got themselves back into the mix. And my thoughts on the Giants are that they're dead as a doornail. Their GM will be fired at the end of the year, along with their coach.
Yeah, honestly, the Dolphins, both these teams are not playoff contending teams. I gotta say right now, but the Dolphins are definitely better than the Giants, and they have definitely improved over the years. Tua Tagovailoa is definitely one of the best quarterbacks that they've ever had. Buccaneers topped the Falcons 30-17 in Atlanta. Eagles destroyed the Jets 33-18. Gardner Minshew was the guy to look at for Eagles, and he had a total of 242 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dallas Goedert, who's on my fantasy team, had 105 yards, 17.5 average with 2 touchdowns. So, wow, Eagles really dominated the Giants right there. Now, what's your thoughts? Obviously, you're a Jets fan.
Well, the Eagles had a very nice, solid game. Gardner Minshew putting in for the injured Jalen Hurts had a very nice game.
He did well, considering that Jalen Hurts was out.
Yeah, definitely. It was a very good performance by Minshew, and that was kind of how they got it done. Zach Wilson had his best game back since his injury, which is really good for the Jets fans. And they have a nice stud wide receiver in Elijah Moore. But honestly, if you just look at the two teams, the Eagles are better than the Jets, and that's why they won.
It's still not the Jets this year. Maybe next year. The Cardinals beat the Bears in Chicago 33-22. Chargers ruined the Bengals 41-22. Rams conquered the Jaguars 37-7. Rams are now 8-4. Jaguars are now 2-10. Matthew Stafford threw a total of 295 yards with 3 touchdowns. Wow. Stafford putting on a show like he always does. Now, what's your thoughts on that? Obviously, lots have happened in that game, going with the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams had a really good game. They were able to spread the ball out to all their weapons. That's why Matthew Stafford had one of the best games of the season so far for him. Didn't really tell us much about the Rams, though. The Rams were clearly the better team over the Jaguars. They came into the game, they should have won the game, and they handled their business nicely. It's just going to be interesting to see how the Rams will go against better opponents next week.
Yeah, honestly, it's going to get more interesting for the Rams as they're facing these harder teams as the weeks advance. Now, for Washington, they battered the Raiders 17-15. Both teams are now 6-6. Honestly, the Raiders and Washington football team are kind of relatable when it comes to defense and offense. Taylor Heineke, no doubt, has definitely improved with 196 yards, 2 touchdowns, and giving up only 1 interception. So what's your thoughts on Tyler Heineke improving?
Taylor Heineke really coming into his own this season. He was really unheard of before. He rarely got an opportunity. He was signed right out of like school. He went back to school.
He's a rookie.
Yeah, basically, he came out of last year. So came in for the injured Alex Smith, who retired, but he came into the playoff game and played really well. He got the job this year after Ryan Fitzpatrick went down, and he's just done nothing but get better and better every week. Washington's in the playoffs right now in the 6th spot in the NFC. It's going to be really interesting how Washington can continue this 4-game winning streak that they're on. And as for the Raiders, they don't really have a coach. They're kind of just whatever right now. Really sad that the Raiders really came down after a great start to their season.
Yeah, honestly, I can agree with you. But Washington, they have, in their AFC division, they have a lot of teams to face that are really challenging. So it's definitely going to be hard for Washington if they want that playoff spot. So definitely keep an eye out, though, for them. Steelers shockingly beat the Ravens 20-19. A lot of Ravens fans did not like that. I mean, that was a close game. But obviously, it was just a point. Justin Tucker had made 2 out of 2 field goals, 7 points in kicking. With total yards, the Ravens had 326, Steelers had 321. So obviously the Ravens, Lamar Jackson was definitely the guy to look at that game. But as for the Steelers, their defense was on point, and Roethlisberger. Now, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, that's just a shocking game.
Yeah, it was very shocking, but at the end of the day, the reason why they lost is because they couldn't convert the 2-point conversion. If the Ravens just could convert it, if Lamar Jackson could have thrown a perfect pass there, they would have won. So it's not all bad for the Ravens.
It's hard. It's hard for 2-point conversions. Not every team can actually go for a 2-point conversion.
Exactly.
Considering how good the Steelers' defense is. Yes, Steelers obviously not that good, but yes, the Steelers' defense is actually one of the best in the league.
Definitely. It was a very difficult 2-point conversion, but all we really needed was a really good throw, and it would have got the job done. But it wasn't that perfect. It didn't happen. The Ravens got
That's why you run the ball mostly in 2-point conversions. Seahawks defeated the 49ers 23-30. George Kittle had 181 yards with a 20.1 average and 2 touchdowns. Travis Homer had 80 yards, 26.7 average, and 1 touchdown. Now, we could have saw more from DK Metcalf, considering that he's one of the best running backs for the team. And what's your thoughts? I mean, we could have definitely saw more.
I think we definitely could have saw more from DK Metcalf. The Seahawks have had really a weird year.
Going with the 49ers, they're not alone. The 49ers and the Seahawks, they're rivals, and they're definitely kind of that relatable team.
Yeah, it's just really weird with the Seahawks. They've just had a very weird year. And they've been very disappointing this season.
Yeah, honestly. Chiefs defeated the Broncos in Kansas City 22-9. Patriots picked up a shocking win, beating the hard-fighting Bills 14-10. Considering Mac Jones barely passed the ball, I'm actually impressed. His running game was excellent, and Patriots defense was the key factor of the game. Obviously, Patriots defense. I mean, can we look at it from the start of the season to now almost the end of the season? Defense and offense all around has been improving for the Patriots. And now, the question Bills fans have is, can they bounce back from this loss? I mean, that was an upset right there. That was an upset.
They can definitely bounce back from that loss.
I agree.
They're a very good team. It's just going to come down to who they're going to play and who they're going to get their confidence back, because that was a confidence killer.
I definitely think so too, but yeah, they definitely could bounce back. Last night, Week 14 begun. Vikings shockingly put down the Steelers. I mean, no, couple games back, Steelers shockingly beat the Ravens, but now Vikings shockingly put down the Steelers. I mean, where did that come from? And that score was 36-28. I mean, wow. Steelers are now 6-6. Vikings are now 6-7, and now Juju Smith is definitely the factor. And now, definitely weeks back, I should have told you that Juju Smith has been the reason why the Steelers have been losing a lot of games. And he needs to come back, or else the Steelers won't be making the playoffs for the first time in a long time. So, what's your thoughts on that? That was a crazy win that the Vikings pulled off right there.
Yeah, I don't think really Juju Smith-Schuster is really going to come back. It's going to be sad because he's a really good weapon for the Steelers. I kind of think they're not making the playoffs, to be honest with you. They've had a very weak year. They've had some
really bad midseason. I'll tell you, really bad midseason.
So I kind of think that it's not going to be the Steelers' year this year.
Yeah, I mean, you got Chase Claypool, but he's also not even that good. I mean, yes, he could. I mean, I feel like he went from like good to like not even that good now anymore. Chase Claypool definitely fell off. Going with the communication that Roethlisberger had, people say that Roethlisberger is also old. So
yeah, he is old, and he's going to retire at the end of the year.
Yeah, going with that arm injury that he had last year. So we now take it to NBA scores from last night. Good game in Philadelphia as the Jazz put down the 76ers 118-96. Jazz are now 18-7. 76ers are now 14-12. Man of the game was Donovan Mitchell, as he had 22 points, 1 rebound, and 6 assists. Donovan Mitchell, obviously, he is carrying the Jazz right now. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, the Jazz have a very good team. Donovan Mitchell is their number one option, a really good defensive center in Rudy Gobert, and also a really good veteran point guard, Mike Conley, is their three main guys in Utah. The real question is going to be the playoffs. They've had some playoff success, not a lot of it. They've been a second round-ish Western Conference team. Can they get to the Western Conference Finals? Can they get to the Finals? That'll be the big question for them.
It's been really shocking for Utah, considering that they had a really bad season last year and the year before that, and all of a sudden they picked up these players, and now they're going far with them.
And the Sixers have had a very difficult year. Ben Simmons has won it out, so he hasn't played the whole year, which has been a huge loss for them.
Because he hasn't been showing up to practice. It's been all over.
Yeah, and they've also had a bunch of COVID issues with Embiid and Tobias Harris out as well.
Yeah,
they've had a very weak year.
Right now, they're really relying on Joel Embiid, and when he's not there, they're losing games.
Yeah.
Grizzlies punished the Lakers 95-108. Jaren Jackson Jr. for the Grizzlies had 25 points and 5 rebounds. Lakers are having a bad year. I mean, they have no players hurt. Their players are healthy, considering that LeBron James is constantly day-to-day, which is annoying. But besides that, John Morant was out last night game, and they still lost. I mean, Lakers, this is not good for you guys. And, you know, the main problem that the Lakers are having, and I really can say this right now, is that the turnovers and the fouls had been just way too much for the Lakers. And their shots are not even going in. And, they got to work on this. Can they improve? I mean, definitely they can, especially with these star players. But, like, right now, we're not seeing improvement.
Yeah, we're
now,
not.
The question that Lakers fans have is, can the Lakers bounce back and develop a playoff mindset?
Yeah, I think that they can bounce back. I think they got really two good pieces in LeBron and
they have
Russell
three
Westbrook.
pieces. They have AD.
Yeah,
Dwight Howard.
AD is really the question mark because he really hasn't been really good this year. If he can get back to where he was last year when they won the championship a couple years ago, I think that the Lakers can definitely do it. They probably need to make some bench adjustments at the trade deadline, switch some pieces. They're not necessarily fitting all right now, but I think if you give Pelinka some time, the GM, put some new pieces in, get Anthony Davis reingratiated back with the team, get him to be that elite second option he was a couple years ago when they won the chip. You can definitely see the Lakers as the playoff team. But also, if they do not go on a good run and they continue to lose, the head coach is in seriously trouble.
I agree. Not only that, but like the playoffs. I mean, let's just say they make it to the playoffs, right? Then they're going to be facing possibly the Grizzlies again, and they're going to be facing maybe the Jazz again, and that's where they're just going to fall off yet again. Because, like I said, these teams are getting harder and harder to face, considering they picked up players. And, you know, we really thought the Lakers were going to be that team this year, but it's really shocking to all of us. So we now take it over to San Antonio as the Spurs beat the Nuggets 111-123. And that was kind of shocking considering that the Nuggets are really good. But that really wraps it up for today's Sports Grind. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Season 3, Episode 13. Bye.